Welcome to So Alma Media. If you spend any time watching true crime stories online, you will start to notice a deeply disturbing pattern. You see a story about a brilliant black woman. She has a master's degree or a doctorate. She built her own successful business from the ground up, bought her own home, and looks like the absolute definition of success. But then the story takes a horrific turn. She's murdered, and the person who took her life isn't just a stranger in the dark. It's her husband, her fiancé, or her boyfriend. It feels like a contradiction, right? We are taught that education and financial independence are shields that protect women from vulnerability. So why does it seem like the most successful black women are being targeted by the very men who are supposed to love them? The truth is, what you are noticing in your true crime feed is a reflection of a real, documented crisis. Behind these cases lie a dangerous mix of social pressure, psychological fragility, and a deadly phenomenon known as male backlash. To understand why this is happening, we have to look directly at the cold hard numbers. According to data from the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention and the Violence Policy Center, black women face a domestic homicide crisis that outpaces almost every other demographic. Black women make up about 14% of the female population in the United States, yet they account for over 30% of all women murdered by men in single victim incidents. They are nearly 3 times more likely to be murdered by an intimate partner than white women. And in 90% of these cases, the victim knew her killer. More than half of them were offed by a current or former romantic partner. But standard statistics often focus on poverty as the primary driver of domestic violence. While financial strain causes massive stress, psychologists have found a complete different hidden trigger for violence that happens at the top of the income ladder. It's called status inconsistency. When a woman earns more money, holds a higher degree, or has more social prestige than her male partner, the traditional balance of power in a relationship is turned upside down. In a healthy relationship, a partner celebrates that success. But in a relationship with an insecure or controlling man, her success feels like an attack on his masculinity. He looks at her thriving businesses and her degrees, and instead of feeling proud, he feels inadequate. Economists and criminologists have tracked what they call the backlash effect. Studies show that when a woman's economic empowerment and income surpass her husband's, the risk of domestic violence actually goes up, especially in households that subscribe to traditional gender roles. When a man feels he can't dominate his partner financially or intellectually, violence becomes his toxic tool to re-establish control and level the playing field. Her achievements become her greatest danger. This danger is multiplied by a heavy cultural expectation known as the strong black woman scheme. From a young age, black women are socialized to be resilient, independent, and capable of carrying the weight of the world without breaking. While this strength is a badge of honor, it becomes a psychological trap in an abusive relationship. A high-achieving businesswoman or professional often feels intense pressure to keep up appearances. She has a reputation to protect, clients who trust her, and a community looking up to her. Asking for help or admitting that her partner is abusive feels like a public failure. So, she manages the crisis internally. She protects his reputation and handles his outburst and tries to fix the situation alone, staying in escalating danger far longer than she should. On top of that, successful black women face massive barriers when trying to get help. If a woman is the primary breadwinner or a prominent business owner, standard domestic violence resources often don't fit her life. Most shelters and social services are built for women who are financially deprived and need immediate economic shelter. A wealthy woman may feel entirely isolated, wondering where someone in her position can even turn. Then there is a deep system distrust of law enforcement. Black women are actually aware of the realities of the justice system. Many hesitate to call the police on a black partner because they fear the systemic bias he might face, or they fear that law enforcement will dismiss their own cries for help. This leaves high-achieving black women stranded in a golden cage, with all the money and education in the world, but completely isolated from safety. This brings me to the final most dangerous dynamic seen in almost every true crime video. The absolute most lethal moment in an abusive relationship is when the woman tries to leave. For a woman with no resources, leaving is incredibly difficult. But for a self-sufficient woman who owns her own business and has her own bank account, walking away is a practical, immediate reality. She doesn't need his money to survive. When an abuser realizes he has zero financial leverage left, and he recognizes that his highly successful partner is truly finished with him, he faces the ultimate loss of control in his mind. If he cannot own her, control her, or stand above her, then no one will. This is the exact moment when the emotional abuse and the jealousy turn into fatal violence. What you are seeing on true crime channels is not a coincidence. It's the tragic reality of what happens when a woman outgrows an abuser who demands her submission. It's a reminder that success doesn't insulate a woman from abuse. Sometimes it makes her a target. We have to start talking about the unique dangers facing high-achieving black women. Because until we dismantle the toxic idea that a woman's success is a threat to a man's manhood, these brilliant lives will continue to be cut short. Now, in my opinion, we are failing to look at the root of this crisis because society is comfortable viewing success as an absolute shield. We congratulate black women for breaking glass ceilings, earning advanced degrees, and building empires. But we ignore the dangerous reality that their professional acceleration is vastly outpacing the emotional evolution of the men around them. It's infuriating that a woman can do everything right, educate herself, build financial security, and uplift her community, only to be penalized in her own living room by a partner who views her excellence as an injury to his ego. True crime stories shouldn't just terrify us. They should make us angry that a woman's independence is still treated by some men as a crime punishable by death. This leaves us with a heavy piece of food for thought. We have to ask ourselves, are we raising boys to love successful women? Or are we raising them to believe that their masculinity depends on a woman being smaller, quieter, and financially dependent on them? If a man's sense of manhood is so fragile that a partner's master's degree or successful business causes it to shatter, that manhood was never stable to begin with. We need to critically examine why society celebrates the strong black woman but secretly resents her when she no longer needs a man for survival. The solution to this crisis requires a major shift in both our cultural mindset and our support systems. First, we must dismantle the toxic idea that a woman's success is a threat. And that starts with how we talk to young men about power, partnership, and emotional security. Second, we need to create specialized, confidential domestic violence resources tailored for high achieving and high earning women. Spaces where business owners and professionals can seek legal, financial, and psychological help without fear of destroying their professional reputations or facing community judgment. Finally, we, within the community, must stop treating the strong black woman archetypes as a requirement to endure abuse and silence. We must create a culture where asking for help is seen as an act of power and not a failure of strength. My name is Soama, and if you like what you are hearing here in this video, please leave a comment, like the video, share the video, subscribe to my channel, and turn on the notification bell for more videos like this. Garantangi, till the next video.